welcome to my kitchen. My name is Cheri, and today is Super Simple Saturday, but it's also National Chop Suey Day. And from what I remember, I don't like chop suey. And from what I could find online, chop suey didn't really look like a super simple recipe, so I decided to do away with both of those today and just go ahead and make something that I was going to make for the family to eat anyway. We are going to be making some Mexican street corn dip. But before I get started, if this is your first time here and you love food and fun, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell and check the description below to find details on how subscribing helps to feed the hungry. All right, so usually on Saturday, my super simple recipes are usually like minimal ingredients and they don't take a lot of time. And I'm not quite sure that this recipe fits that, but I will say I do believe it's a pretty easy recipe. So it's a Pampered Chef recipe, and I've got my Pampered Chef grill here, and this is an indoor-outdoor grill. So I love this thing because I can take it outdoors and put charcoal in it, or I can bring it indoors and plug it in. So I've got it set to medium-high heat, and I've got 4 ears of corn here. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my corn with just a little bit of cooking spray. And then I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of chili powder on here. And then I'm going to flip them. And we're just going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to spray again. A little bit of chili powder also. And then I've got a couple of jalapenos here that I just cut in half. I took the seeds and the veins out. And then I've got a red onion, a pretty small one. Usually it calls for like a half of an onion on here, but it was pretty small. And I cut quite a bit of the ends off, so I just put the rest of it on there. So if you don't want to do this on a grill, you can always do this with canned corn, and then you can just, roast your jalapenos and your onions in a skillet or, in the oven. So I don't know that you'll quite get the flavor that you get out of the fresh corn, but it is really, that actually probably would be a super simple Saturday recipe. All right, so I'm just going to put the lid on this, and again, I've got it on medium-high heat, so I'm just going to let these things cook. I'm going to let my veggies and my corn cook for about 20, maybe 25 minutes, and about halfway through I'll flip them just so they cook evenly. All right, I believe our vegetables should be just about done. So I'm going to push this out of the way, and then I've got a cutting mat here that I'm just going to take my vegetables and I'm going to lay them right down on here just so they can cool. See if I can slide these off onto here. My onions kind of fell apart a little bit. That's all right. We're going to chop those up anyway. And our jalapenos. All right, so I'm going to let these sit for just a little bit. That'll give me some time to put my grill away. That way I can see what I'm doing. And once these are cool to the touch, then we can finish with the rest of our dip. All right, now we need the juice of 1 lime. And there's half, and then the other half. And I'll tell you, one of the other things we need is some fresh Parmesan cheese, and I forgot to pick it up at the store. So I don't have any that's fresh. So instead, I'm just going to use a little bit of this stuff here. It's not quite as good, but it'll do in a pinch. And then I've got 8 ounces of pepper jack, which I did grate this myself, so that's a plus. We're going to add just a little bit more chili powder. And then I'm going to take, hopefully the vegetables are cooled down enough that I can take our onions, our jalapenos. All right, so I'm just going to toss all of these in my manual food processor. So you can do this in a regular food processor. You can do this with a knife. So we're just going to chop them up, not too fine. All right, so that's about what we're looking for there. I'm going to add these to our dip. And then the last thing we need is our corn. So I have here my kernel cutter. I think that's what it is. So this is awesome because you just run it down the sides of your corn. Hopefully this isn't too hot. All right, next one. And I'm doing this on my cutting mat. That way I can just easily transfer it from, from here to my pot. All right, we'll set these right over here for a second. So right into the pot they go. And then I'm going to finish up these other 2 really quick. All right, then once I've finished with the last ear of corn, we can go ahead and transfer our corn, what's left of it, what's not on the counter. Oops, on the cutting mat, into my bowl here, or my pot. So if you guys have watched for very long, you probably know this is part of, well, it's called a rock crock, but it comes with or you can buy a slow cooker base, and it turns it into basically a crock pot. So I could put this on the crock pot if I wanted to and let it cook, or what I'm going to do right now, just to speed things up a bit, I'm just going to toss this in the microwave for a few minutes. All right, so after just a few minutes in the microwave, our mayonnaise is all mixed in, our sour cream is mixed in, and our cheese is all melted. Look at that. Yummy. And I've got a few chips here, so let's go ahead and take a bite. It is so good. It's spicy and cheesy, and I just love the little bites of corn in there. I love the texture of the corn. And, you know, I think it really would have been better if it had the fresh Parmesan cheese in it. I think it does make a big difference, and I'll tell you what else you could probably use is like a teaspoon of sugar. But overall, it's absolutely delicious. So if you've never had Mexican street corn or Mexican street corn dip, you definitely have to try this recipe because it is really good, and I'll tell you, it's a big crowd pleaser. So I thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.